Today was a day to take in the sights of the great city of Minneapolis and to do a little packing and preparing for the journey. There were some more somber moments as we visited the site where George Floyd was murdered, only blocks away from where I'm staying, but more on that later. First, let's talk to Hillary about some of the choices she is making for the climate and a little bit of her opinions on her adopted city.
Is that your family is definitely a car light family. Tell us a little bit about that.
So we just have one car, a Toyota Prius, and we had about a period of 10 years where we didn't own a car at all. And I'm trying to remember what year that was. My car died, and Andy already biked everywhere anyway. And then I thought, well, if I can make it through the winter without a car, maybe then we could actually do this. And a lot of it was just about wanting to reduce our carbon footprint. And when you don't have a car, it forces you to take the bus or a bike, or we would catch rides with people. We still try to bike whenever we can, and I've sort of organized my life so that everything is within a mile and a half of my house.
Yeah.
And Andy has the long commute. He either is taking the bus or he bikes 8 miles to St. Paul to work, and on Fridays he likes to take the 14-mile route home along the Mississippi River. So it's also just about, biking just makes you happy.
Yeah.
Like you get exercise, and you get to be out enjoying the beautiful world and seeing things that you would miss if you were inside a car.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah. And then of course our kids grew up without a car, and so biking was just sort of normalized, like that you bike in the winter and you bike everywhere. And so our almost 15-year-old, he started biking year-round when he was in 5th grade, and I think he only missed maybe one day through the rest of his through 8th grade that he did not bike to school.
So there's so much bike culture here. It's really
Yeah.
easy. It's a big contrast to where I'm from, where people think you're crazy when you go on a bike and look at you funny. But I see you're repping your home.
Oh yeah,
your
Cleveland. Yeah.
But so you're not a native of Minneapolis,
No.
but you've lived here for a long time, and
Yeah.
it's a really great city. I really enjoyed my short time here, and I'm just wondering what you think some of the best parts of Minneapolis are.
Oh, let's see. Well, we live very close to the Mississippi River, so we kind of consider ourselves river people. So I love walks along the Mississippi River Gorge. It's the only natural, true gorge along the entire 2,000-mile length of the Mississippi River. And but a lot of people love the lakes in Minneapolis. We're the city of lakes, and so if you head to the western, and even just like a little bit south of us is Lake McComas, and but the Lake of the Isles and Lake Harriet and Bede-Makaska are a beautiful area. I love that it's like, it's a big enough city that it has like all of the sort of cultural institutions that you would want in a city. It has amazing restaurants.
We're at one right now.
We are, Sonora Grill. It's we're surrounded by farmland and incredible abundance, and so unlike maybe some other cities, there's like really direct access to locally grown produce and farmers, and the local chefs just run with that. And as a foodie, that's one of the big things I love, and the farmers markets, and just everything about food here is amazing. And then I just love the diversity of the city, that we have so many, even though Minnesota, like overall, is a very white state, like Minneapolis and St. Paul are super diverse with lots of immigrants from Latin America and Mexico, from East Africa, from Southeast Asia, Russia, Czech Republic. There's just a lot of immigrants who've come here and brought all of their cultural richness with them. And our kids get to go to school with those, cultures, and we see them in all the little restaurants and shops along East Lake Street and throughout the city, and those are just... And then we just have a very, we get regularly ranked like the top city in the country for our parks. Because there's a park, supposedly they designed our park system, so there's a park within 6 blocks of every residence in the city. And we have the Grand Rounds, which is a beautiful sort of like, big circular chain of bike and pedestrian trails that go circumnavigate the city and connect the Mississippi River to the lakes. So
there's so much to like.
It's a beautiful place, and here we are. We've been here 21 years now, so with no plans to leave.
Well, if you haven't been to Minneapolis recently, you should come and check it out. It's a great city, and thank you so much.
Midtown Greenway is our highway, and you're going to be taking it out of town tomorrow.
I will be, and I have a video of me riding on it today, and we'll show that in fast motion. So thank you again for hosting me. It's been a pleasure.
We rode our bikes over to George Floyd Square to pay our respects, as Hillary pointed out all of the physical damage to the city in her neighborhood. The looted and burned down Target, so famous from television, has now been rebuilt. The historic buildings that have been razed to the ground and are now empty lots. The police precinct that was completely destroyed and will not reopen. But there were also beautiful tales of solidarity and mutual aid and resolve that things must change. It is one thing to see it all on TV and quite another to be in the exact spot where it happened. I left my tiny mark on the site, but it left a much larger mark on me.